One sip.
I got one sip before I
some.
finish it? Okay. The fuck? Oh, I guess it's just different.
Do you think it was broken?
Alright. Hey guys, welcome to our new YouTube channel. I am Danika. I'm the founder of Danika Inc. And Danika Inc. has grown so much. I know you saw our video on the other channel. If you didn't, shame on you, you should go see it. But this is the new channel. And it's all about Studio D. So because we are growing so much over at Danika Inc., we really felt as though we needed to honor where we were coming from and our clinical focuses, our studio focus with you guys on health and wellness. And so we have a new brand operating with us. It is Studio D Digital. And Kate, the new person you may never have seen before beside me, is the clinical director of Studio D.
Yes, I am. Hello everybody. As Danika said, my name is Kate, and I am the clinical director at Studio D. I am also a practitioner with Studio D as a certified athletic therapist. And honestly, throughout my journey, I never thought I'd be here managing a clinic and not being, just a practitioner. I started school in kinesiology thinking I was going to be a physiotherapist, fell into the lap of athletic therapy, fell in love with it, came out, and everything has kind of led me here to working with Danika, and I'm so excited about that.
Are you actually?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
So excited.
So, and this is a journey I think so many of our peers have been on, where you go into school and you go in and you're like, the options are med school, physio, or chiropractic school. And so many of us end up in places that are not those spaces. So I think that your journey is really representative for a lot of people. Can you walk us through how you got to AT?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I went into athletic therapy to try to gain more skills to be a physiotherapist during my degree. And when I came out of school as an athletic therapist, started working with physiotherapists, I realized that it wasn't really the model I wanted to work from. It was very reactive. It was very, here's the injury, here's the problem, now let's clean up the mess. And I wanted to be very proactive and looking at the big picture of why things happened. And that just wasn't a great fit for the physio lens. And so I fell in love with the athletic therapy lens because that's really the mindset that all of the teachers and people that I was working with when I came out of school, that was their mindset. And so that's really why I stuck here and stayed in athletic therapy.
Yeah, and I think that's an experience that a lot of us go through, right? You're like in the hallowed halls of academia, and you're like, medicine is this amazing thing. And then you get into a practical clinic and you're like, oh girl, that is not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I think so, I met Kate through a friend of a friend, and the friend of a friend is also in the medical field. And she was like, no, Kate is amazing. You need to meet Kate. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet Kate. And then we immediately vibed. Like it was really amazing. And one of the things that I've struggled with in my career is finding people who are also disruptive and innovative and want to kind of like find those new spaces for what clinical work can be.
Yeah.
And so this morning we went through this beautiful process of like, even today, like we're constantly always refining and redefining what we're up to. And I just kind of wanted to like tap you for, what about Studio D made you go, yes, this is the space I want to operate in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing was all the jobs and the areas that I'd worked in and the clinics I'd worked in leading up to this point had really operated in the mold of what the healthcare industry is. And its limitations and its boundaries. And I was just so unhappy operating in those walls. And, there's so many issues and the system doesn't work and everybody's like, but let's just make it work. Like, let's operate within these boundaries. And I didn't want to work in the boundaries. And so I left my last job looking to find something that would allow me to kind of break down those barriers and really push into some areas in the healthcare industry that I think are issues. And when I met Danika, she was like, oh, I'm already doing that. And here's all the amazing things I've done. And I'm okay burning stuff to the ground and trying to make it better. And so, that was an immediate partnership. I was like, yes, let's burn it all to the ground and fix it. Let's make it better. Let's make this journey for people easier and more accessible and have it actually work when you get to the end of it. And I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. One of the things that we learn as clinicians and entrepreneurs and as medical health providers is that often the easy way isn't actually the easy way, and there's a lot of steps to it. And so even in our conversation that I just referenced from earlier this morning, we went through and we're like, okay, here are these huge lofty ideals around inclusivity and accessibility and all these other things around really facilitating people's lifestyles. But how do we do that? And so I'll kind of pass off to you, like, how will Studio D, how does Studio D accomplish these really lofty goals?
Yeah, and I mean, that took us a long time to get to, and I think that's a good thing that it took us so long to get there, because we came out with a really genuine vision, I think. And surprisingly, where we ended up starting was that lifestyle component, and the idea that no matter what your goal is, no matter where that goal area is within your health and wellness, you always have to start with the fundamentals of what does your lifestyle look like? What are the building blocks of your day, your elements in your life? Because whether that's a diet goal, a fitness goal, whatever it may be, every part of the building blocks of your life is what influences you to be successful in achieving those goals. And so the very first thing that we have to look at is your lifestyle and how your goals are going to interact with your lifestyle through the journey. And I think the second component that really nicely fed into that for us was, okay, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to work with amazing professionals.
Yeah.
And who are we looking for in that journey? And we looked back at who we've kind of brought on so far and what we all have in common. And I think the biggest things for all of us that we work with here at Studio D is that we're all professionals in our field. We're all, educated experts in our field, but we all have a super common mindset, even though we might be different types of practitioners.
Totally.
And that mindset is always about how to push those boundaries, how to look at things differently. And I think one of the biggest things I value in our practitioner team is that it's not about the easy way out. And it's, about identifying those hard roads that people have to go down to achieve their goals and not shying away from it, and really allowing the person that you're working with to feel okay about that difficult journey, and that they're gonna get there, and that you have a team around you. And that's really the approach that we've kind of fostered at Studio D, is that team approach of, we're gonna help you get to your goal.
Yeah, really, really results driven, right?
Yeah,
we're not
absolutely.
trying to do a quick sale with you. We wouldn't bother bringing on experts if that's what we were up to.
Yeah.
And because it's so results driven, one of the pillars that we did land on top of lifestyle management and working with experts and stuff like that is that curated component, which I find really interesting. I mean, you know me already, but I hate when I see those Instagram things that are like, oh, are you a mesomorph, ectomorph, whatever morph? I have the perfect program that guarantees you amazing success in a six-pack in 6 weeks. I just cannot even. And we have some testimonials on our website about what curated means to us. You can check out our website. I'll leave the links down below. But putting Kate on the spot, how did you land on how you actually, as a clinical director, how do you want to execute that?
Yeah, and I think the term curate is near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
And really interestingly, we have kind of very different takes on it, but it ends up with the same result. And I think what we want to do with our team and with our members with regards to that curated content is the idea that everything's super individualized. So, Danika wouldn't have the same program I would have. It wouldn't work. And, creating those programs and goals for people, you need to be super adaptive and reactive. And, the curated content that you make is always going to be changing, right? Depending on where the individual is on their need. And so as a clinic director, it's really about fostering that team environment, that communication. So, if we have a member who's working with 3 different practitioners and everybody's having, curated content for this one individual, a key component of that is communication within our team, but also with the person that we're working with and getting that feedback from them. And that feedback is what allows us to continue to produce curated content along their journey.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're coming out of COVID, having had a blessing in disguise of time away to kind of redefine and get the little kick in the pants.
Totally.
We had always had goals to do some digital work, and COVID was like, now you're doing it. And so we started to come away with some questions around what does it mean to continue this process and be objective about the value of it. And so we came up with a term that we're still working our way through and working the edges off of, but it's about being platform agnostic. So right now we're running a pilot program. It's 2 sessions a week for 4 weeks. It's $2.99. That's 90% off. And we're doing, it's a crazy steal. I get it, it's for science. But it's either you're doing fully in person, fully online, or a hybrid of the two, and you kind of get to trial and test it out.
Yeah.
And we get to trial and test it out with you. But it was because we wanted to make sure that wherever you were in the world, whatever your lifestyle barriers were, we could meet you anywhere. And I think that's really unique to us.
Yeah, and I think going back to that pilot program and where that kind of came from, and you know, backing up a little bit to what Danika was saying, is COVID allowed us to kind of hit pause, look at where we were going, and we got really far down this road, like months of planning, and I kind of looked at it and I was like, do people want, you know, a digital platform? Because we've addressed all these barriers and we wanted to go digital and take away those physical kind of brick and mortar barriers. And we kind of sat back and we were like, you know, is this what people want? And so what we decided to do with the pilot program is allow people to come in, test the kind of, you know, traditional method of a clinic, and then the digital method of a clinic, which we've had great success with during COVID.
Huge
Our
success.
clients love it, our members love it. Lots of people will stay that way. And then allowing a hybrid approach where people can kind of try both, and, you know, getting that feedback from them. And if they switch halfway through, that's great information for us to know. And I think it feeds into that curated aspect, because it's not just curated content, it's not just curated programming, it's about your lifestyle. And so looking at what do our members want, what do they need to achieve their goals, and that's, I think, feeds into the digital platform. Why we wanted to go digital is, you know, people that are traveling for work, or stay-at-home moms, or people that are going away on holidays often throughout the year, really anything that takes you away from your physical, you know, home base, allowing people to take their life health journey with them, and really take their team and their practitioners with them on their journey, no matter where it takes you. And so allowing every aspect, even the delivery, to be able to be curated to our members.
Yeah. So I think as we launch this new platform, one of the things I'm really excited for is for you to see Kate and I. We're going to be talking a little bit more about those pillars that we talked about, the values of this bring
Dig
to
into
you
them a little bit.
in the next little while. If that's interesting to you, we want to provide value to you on this platform too. So subscribe, like what we're up to, turn on your notifications so that you know when we're uploading cool new stuff that you should totally watch, and leave a comment down below. We really want to make this like a communication-based platform for you guys, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we so look forward to continuing the discussion with you guys.
We're gonna fight a whole bunch.
Yeah.